What's up, guys and gals? Australian trucks make more sense. Well, that's the name of this video. Let's see why. This is from a channel called Yukon, and this is from a Discord suggestion from Burnout Perth. So thank you guys, as always. I'm talking about a bunch, but I'm secretly into big trucks. Now, no surprise, that's not really a secret, but I'm talking about real big trucks, like semi-trucks. Big military trucks, big 4x4s, whatever the case is. And you know what? I have seen in a very limited exposure. One thing I never knew before this channel was, how big and, well, quite frankly, badass Australian trucking is. Definitely beats out American trucking. I thought American trucking was pretty awesome, pretty big, right? And it is, but Australia's on another level, quite frankly. Really, like the road train thing is kind of mind-blowing. There's still a lot more I would like to explore in this topic. I just haven't enough, and maybe we will. Maybe we will dive more into it. This is a good start, so let's go ahead and watch this video. It'll be linked down in the description down below, as I said earlier, and here we go.
If I was to say the words Australian trucking to you, assuming you have any prior knowledge, then most likely you'd be envisioning something like this. Known as a road train, this behemoth of a vehicle is by far the most iconic and internationally recognizable aspect of Australia's trucking industry. However, if you were to leave the desolate outback and make your way to somewhere a bit more populated, you might be surprised to find a vast array of different trucks, or prime movers, from various corners of the globe. On any given street, you can find European brands such as Scania, Volvo, or Iveco, Japanese brands like Mitsubishi, Isuzu, or UD.
Okay, see, right away I'm going to interrupt this real quick. This is what's unique about Australian trucking. It's much more versatile, a lot of differences, variation. You see the road train style, big, long-nosed, sharp-looking trucks like Peterbilt's, Kenworth, Western Star, all these different things in the U.S., right? And you're just going to see those everywhere, in cities, on the highway, out in the desert, wherever, right? It's more consistent. Cab overs are a thing of the past. We used to have those. Those are way gone. And the super foreign trucks, foreign to us anyway, we're talking like Mitsubishi, Isuzu, some of the other ones. Well, actually not the other ones. We don't have like MAN or Scania or some of the other ones I've heard of. We have a very limited selection of foreign trucks, and they don't quite look like this either. So that's what's cool about Australia. You have the big, long-nosed trucks, and then, of course, you have these, too. You have a lot of variety going on, a lot of different sizes and configurations.
In American brands like Kenworth, Mack, or Peterbilt.
Right.
In addition to this, you'll see both conventional and cab-over-style truck cabs, both of which are best suited for different purposes. Let's start with the conventional cab, also called a bonneted truck, which is mostly used for longer distance travel and is perfectly suited for road trains. For those of you unfamiliar with road trains, they economically connect remote Australian communities which otherwise have no way of receiving freight, as the Australian rail network mostly hugs the coastlines. There is great need for road trains in Western and Central Australia, as there is essentially no rural transportation infrastructure. Though road trains are legally allowed to operate in the states and territories of Northern Territory, Western Australia, and parts of South Australia, Queensland, and New South Wales. Road trains cover massive distances over rough terrain, often on unpaved and desolate roads. Kangaroos, cows, and various other animals are a major hazard for drivers in these remote areas.
Let me just say a shout out again. I say it every time we see these, which is not enough, but I just have to say it. Shout out to road train drivers, outback drivers. That it seems like a tougher job than meets the eye. You are out in desolate parts of the world, right? I mean, the outback can seem very lonely and dangerous, I'm sure. It takes a lot of endurance to drive seemingly at a place that can look the same after a while, be really hot or whatever. You know how like the saying goes, a lot of things you touch in your daily life or you may take for granted, came off of a truck at some point. So especially in Australia's case, big time shout out to like outback truckers. That is a crazy job, and thank goodness someone does it, right?
Hence why road train cabs feature thick bull bars on the front. Drivers, affectionately known as truckies, can be out for days to months at a time, so the extra cabin space is greatly appreciated, especially when it's the only refuge from the searing Australian sun. Conventional cabs have greater engine space than their cab-over counterparts, which allows for the installation of some absolutely massive engines, which are more than required to haul these heavy loads. There's great diversity among road train configurations, but for the most part they have 3 or more.
Look at that number 9. Powertrain. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cargo, what's Severn? 7 separate cargo containers, varying sizes and lengths. I mean, I'm not even gonna count the axles, okay? That's insane. But even most of these are insane. When we're dealing with level 1, that's the biggest you'd ever see in the USA, as far as I know. And this would be pushing it more like the first one here. That's it. It's just crazy.
More trailers in varying sizes. Given the environment of the outback, it's not uncommon for older vehicles to overheat, especially when climbing uphill. While overheating is unfortunate regardless of what kind of truck you drive, sitting on top of an overheating engine can be a little bit dicey and not to mention hot. Conventional cabs are also easier to maintain while in the bush, as accessing the engine is a simple matter of popping the bonnet as opposed to the more laborious process of tilting the whole cab. This is not to say that only conventional cabs are used in road trains. American brand cabovers, which are actually produced in Australia, can be seen from time to time hauling heavy as well. Really, it's up to individual choice, but generally conventional cabs are preferred.
Yeah, I think I would go with conventional cab, you know, in my head.
Coast, the streets are teeming with cabovers of all sorts.
Now, of course, in a city, I think you want a cab over. They're better on space, and like I said, we don't really have that option at all compared to you guys in the USA, and I bet some guys still would like some cab overs if they're on tight routes all the time, because they're easier to maneuver.
These stubby little warriors maintain the coastal economies where the vast majority of Australians live. Though generally Australian roads tend to be fairly wide, it can be difficult for a conventional cab driver to get around in more populated areas. Cabovers also provide a greater field of view, turning radius, and are often safer for other drivers to be around, as braking distances and agility are priorities. Usually hauling singles or maybe doubles, cabovers are perfectly suited for Australia's denser areas and shorter distance hauls. These cabovers, most of which are from Europe and Japan, are extremely well engineered, able to find the perfect medium between efficiency and safety. People in my comments seem to agree that these European cabovers are quite comfortable and luxurious, often with air ride suspension built into the cab. And though it's a matter of personal opinion which cab style is better, comfort plays a huge role in a driver's life. But Australia's trucking industry does better than many areas of—
So any truckies in the comments, you can be from any country. Cab over? Or long nose, or bonneted, is that what he said? Whatever you want to call those. Yeah, the long nose style or cab over, what do you prefer?
Of the world is simple. They provide you with an option as to what truck you'd like to drive. Though people can argue endlessly about which cab style is better, I think we all can agree that we'd rather have the option to choose for ourselves. Alright, that's all I got for today. Feel free to
so that was pretty quick, but you know what? It was informative, and I think it's very cool to point out the trucking culture is pretty wicked in Australia, gotta admit. Really interesting and fascinating, of course, the logistics of it with the outback, and then, of course, very populated coasts. Tons of different options, tons of different trucking, or I should say trucks themselves, right? Lots of variety, lots of styles, lots of configurations, lots of brands, American brands, European brands, Japanese brands. I would like to dive more into the trucking side. Anywhere in the world, but especially Australia is very fascinating to me, their trucking culture there. I tell you what, there's a video game called American Truck Simulator. I actually realized the first version, I think there's an even more famous one called Euro Truck Simulator. I've never played that. I've seen it on YouTube before, like maybe a video or two here and there. But I know they launched American Truck Simulator years ago, and I had it on my old computer. I don't have it anymore. But I played it here and there, not pretty avidly, but I played it here and there enough to know the game, and it was very fun. And I can say they need to make an Australia Truck Simulator, if they don't already. If maybe they do. But if they don't, they need to. I mean, how freaking cool would that be? Whoever makes that game, the Euro Truck and American Truck, I think it's the same company. Dude, you need to make an Australian Truck Simulator. You need to have, like, road train missions, driving through the outback, and, like, you got to endure that and hope the truck is good and get good fuel mileage and not break down, and you're pulling like 7 trailers behind you. That would be super cool, right? Anyway, I can't wait to hear your comments on this video. You know me, I go on funny rants. But yeah, come on, that would be awesome, right? That would be an awesome game. I would buy it like the day it came out. Throw a like and a thumbs up on this video for Australian trucking, and trucking makes the world go round. It really does. It's one of the most important things in logistics. And of course, subscribe to join this amazing community we have on this channel. we're on our way to 100K. And finally, that description does have this original video, and of course, other ways you can interact with me and support me. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, y'all. We'll catch you later.